Hey, 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 hey. Welcome back to my channel. Woo! I've heard so many people try to compare Chris Proudfoot, the stepfather of missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers, and Sebastian's biological father, Seth Rogers. And it's so frustrating. There is no comparison, in my opinion. I've heard,
oh, Chris is just pissed and he has every right to be. He's frustrated. Seth isn't a perfect father either, but he needs to realize that not everybody out here is good.
even Chris Proudfoot made the statement.
I'm not Seth.
Yeah.
I have the balls and the fucking spine to call people out on shit.
Yeah.
And then he said a few other choice words that I'm not going to say. Let me make this clear. I am saying this from my own opinions, from my own knowledge of what I've heard come from Seth Rogers, Chris Proudfoot, and Katie Proudfoot's own mouths with my own ears. I'm not basing my opinions from what anyone else has said or has done or how they feel. So let's do this. Seth came out on his day one, wanting all the help that he could get. He's been out doing his own work. He's hired help. He's made a team of people to help him find his son. Chris and Katie came out doing all the interviews, sharing how Sebastian would violate personal space. He'd wish for friends. He'd have tantrums by clenching his fist at his side and stomping his foot. We've also heard about Chris hitting Sebastian with a belt.
He got in trouble. He didn't have a belt on. I was like, where's your belt? And got it. Whack. Kinda got him.
And throwing away Sebastian's belongings because Sebastian didn't listen well enough. And those were situations that Chris himself shared with us. We heard Katie defend Chris about hitting Sebastian with the belt. We've heard them both mock Sebastian. We've heard them both rave over how great of a father Seth is. We've heard Seth say Katie is responsible for Sebastian missing due to he was in her care when he just poof.
But from there, the scent disappears. There's poof.
We've heard Chris tell Seth that he had to wait on him to approve things that Seth once done to find Seth's own son, not Katie, but Chris. Chris demanded Seth respect the week-long wait. While Katie is doing what? Stalking social media with Chris? I mean, that's what I've seen anyway. She's responding to random comments on Facebook, just as Chris is. Plus, he's going in live chats and jumping on panels just to argue with people or to try to make demands over other adults. While Seth is panel hopping to make sure that Sebastian's name stays relevant, Seth isn't stalking social media to argue with people. Seth isn't out here trying to control the narrative. Seth isn't telling other adults how to run their channels. But Chris sure is. I see Seth doing anything and everything that he can to find a son. He's not fighting with anyone, even though Chris has called Seth every name in the book except for his own name and tried to get Seth upset. And Seth has made a few responses, but he's been very reserved compared to how I would have responded. Has Seth said a few things that he probably shouldn't have? Absolutely. Has he made a few jokes? Yeah, probably. But even Tony Mathis, the supposed to be family spokesman, has spoken up about how he's not even trying to make the three be a team any longer. He got to deal with Chris for what, 2 weeks? He got a tiny taste of what Seth has been dealing with for far too long. And Tony put his foot down. I will agree with Chris on one thing. Seth should speak up and use his spine and his balls. He should tell Chris to sit the fuck down. Chris tries to control everyone, including Seth. He tries to change what people are thinking if he doesn't like it. He needs to let the air out of his overinflated ego. It's ridiculous. In my opinion, this is all my opinion, remember. Chris has made Sebastian's case about him. In my opinion, I've only seen 2 people stalk social media at this same level as I've seen Chris Proudfoot. That was Letitia Stout while Gannon Stout was missing. May he rest in heaven. Letitia is behind bars for the rest of her life for what she did to that baby boy. But she was stalking social media, arguing with people, trying to control the narrative. The other social media stalker was Don Wells. And if you know, you know. Chris Proudfoot seems like a Don Wells 2.0 minus the alcohol and drugs, in my opinion. Chris seems to be naturally this way. Completely sober. Scary, right? In my opinion. I want to make one last clarification before I end this. I'm sure I've pissed off enough people so far. But I've heard 3 different creators just this week say that Seth hit Sebastian in the head and it's a fact and it's been proven. That is false. That is misinformation. That has not been proven factual information. Let me say it again. That is not factual information. Katie Proudfoot made allegations in a document during a custody battle and a divorce. That's it. They are allegations. Nothing has been proven as fact. In those same documents, Seth denied the allegations ever happening. During custody battles and divorces, parents will make the absolute worst allegations against the other parent, even including innocent people saying that they're witnesses to these allegations. Nowhere in that documentation did it say that the witnesses that Katie named testified under oath. So none of the statements that Katie made back then are factual or proven. If any of it was true, the judge would not have given both parents 50-50 custody. It just shows me, in my opinion, how dirty Katie played. And now she has Chris and his family helping, in my opinion. So while Seth is out here doing the most to find his son that vanished in Katie's care, Chris is doing the most to control every situation, person, narrative, whatever. In my opinion, it's all about control for Chris Proudfoot from what I've seen. If Chris wouldn't have come out saying the gross stuff and mocking Sebastian, he would have had more support. Instead, he had people asking questions, and his rude, condescending self decided to snap at people instead of just clarifying things. Chris did that. He did that all on his own. He wants everything to filter through him instead of the missing child's mother. Why is that? Why does Seth have to go to Christopher Proudfoot, Mr. Chris, for everything? I might be wrong, and it wouldn't be the first time, but I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong here. Seth didn't create Sebastian with Chris Proudfoot. He did, however, create Sebastian with Katie. Katie seems like she's a rational woman who is mentally stable and can make her own decisions like a big girl. So why isn't she? Why isn't she communicating with the father of her child?
I am back working, and I have work hours. I also have to sleep. And unfortunately, I'm on the opposite schedule of you. So respect that.
Okay, that's it. I've said enough. Leave me a comment with your respectful opinions and thoughts. Please keep it respectful, even if you disagree. You're allowed to disagree, but you must be respectful. This is my channel, so I do demand respect to myself and any member of our squad that is leaving a comment below this video also. Make sure that you're subscribed and ring a ding my bell, because you never know when I'll pop a video up. Smooch the thumbs up if you agree with anything that I've said, and hit the thumbs down if you don't. But leave me a comment if you have a different perspective than I do. Maybe you'll help me see things in a different way. It is very possible. I am open to all different perspectives. I don't have blinders on, I promise. I've tried to see this entire case from every perspective possible. I've been listening to the channels that I don't agree with because I want to hear their perspective, just as much as I've been listening to the channels that are pretty much on the same level of thinking as I am. So I try to see everybody's perspective. Different perspectives are eye-opening sometimes. So if you think you can open my eyes with your perspective, your opinions, your thoughts, please leave me a comment and let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and may you have the kind of day that karma feels you've earned. And until next time, I love you bunches.
What kind of behavioral stuff?
He has a hard time, he's like awkwardly socially like blending in with students. So it's a little, he's trying to figure out how to do it, but respecting people's space. He gets a little too close. And then kids don't really accept that too much. So it kind of causes an issue. But he'll not stop and he continues on. So then it causes an issue. And instead of being honest about it, he'll lie like, no, I didn't. Okay, Sebastian.
Was that the first time?
So if you tell them to clean their room, and they go in there and they clean their room, well, they say come out, well, it's clean. And you go in there and you go to check their room and the room's not clean. Okay. Thought I told you to clean this room. You told us the room is clean, did you not? Well, yes, sir. Okay. Now I'm going to clean your room. And you know exactly what that means. I go in and I go grab a trash bag. I walk back in that bedroom. If it's on the floor and it's not supposed to be on the floor, it's not picked up and put in the right places, goes in the trash bag. If it's not important enough for you to take care of and pick up, I'll take care of it for you. Throw in the trash bag. Tie it up. I've done this to him twice. One time, Mom talked me out of it. The other time, Sebastian, here's the bag, go put it in the trash can. And then you're going to take the trash can to the street. And after that, Sebastian, did you clean your room? Well, your mom told you to clean your room. Did you clean the room? Yes or no? Well, yes, sir. Is it clean the way it's supposed to be? Well, no, sir. then I suggest you go back in there and clean it, or I'm coming in there in the next 10 minutes and I'm cleaning. Yes, sir. Hauls butt to that bedroom, and by God, that room is clean the way it's supposed to be. Sebastian went to school one day because we were at the house. He got in trouble. He didn't have a belt on. I was like, "Where's your belt?" And got it. Whack. Got him. So he goes to school and he tells the teacher. They're mandatory reporters, so the teacher reports it. That afternoon, CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now, mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished. So he shows, he makes a report. They come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had a case before. Now, the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that were shoved into one. And when they finally got it debunked, they were like, "Oh, he got so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into 3 and it caused a commotion." Well, they canceled that out. So the one on me, she shows up, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" It's her again. She's like, "Oh, hey." She goes, "Hey, I'm already don't." She's like, "Don't tell me anything, but I'm gonna tell you what I know happened." And I said, "Okay." She goes, "Blah blah blah." She told me exactly what happened. I said, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "Oh my God." I said, "Yes, ma'am. This is how it's been." Sebastian thought by telling on me, making it sound like I was so horrible.
Oh, you cut out. You cut out just a minute. You cut out. I can. Oh, there you go. Okay.
That I was going to get in trouble over something stupid. And I was like, "No, Sebastian, you got punished, man. You got punished." And he was like, but, and I was like, "You got punished." And he was like, but, and I was like, "You got punished." And the lady took him outside. She goes, "Sebastian, just because you get in trouble and you get punished, you need to understand when you go and you say things about people and you lie and you fabricate things and you make it sound worse than what it is, sir, you can get in trouble for that." So that happened, and the lady was like, "I am so sorry." And I said, "No, he's just a child. He's upset. It is what it is. I'm okay with it." He sat that back down at the dinner table and was like, "See, eat your food." And we went back, and everything's been fine. I wish I could show you all this in person. All right. Does he have, when he was younger, he probably had some pretty nasty ones. As he's gotten older, between his mama, me, and his dad, and other family members, trying to get him to, like, "Look, you need to focus on this. Stop doing," ball your fist up, put him down to your side, like in a very aggressive manner, like you're pushing down, and stomp with one foot. Okay? He gets like that when he's throwing his tantrums. And then he brings his hands up in like the military knife hand is what they call it. All 4 fingers and thumbs pointing outward.
Yep.
And he's like moving his hands up and down, kind of like he's making a point, kind of. That's to the extent of his violent outbreak. But other than that, no.
He hates being dirty. He don't like being dirty.
Yeah, he's not your tomboy style child where he goes outside and plays in the mud.
He loves animals, but he's terrified of bugs.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, even a fly, and he's like,
So let's talk too about the relationship involved, because the biological father is very much involved in Sebastian's life as well.
Yes, ma'am. Very much.
Right. And how would you describe that relationship, the 2 of them and the 4 of you?
It's relatively good. I mean, we talk regularly. He talks to his son on a regular basis, sees him on a regular basis. He's involved in school and therapy, and I mean, he didn't have any extracurricular activities, but I can tell you now, if he did, his dad would be in the front row.
Is Sebastian able to watch this, and maybe he's watching this as it airs? And if he is, what do you want to say to Sebastian? What do you want him to hear from you right now?
Oh gosh, that we love you so much, and we want you to come home, and you're not in trouble.
I guarantee you he is loved. And trust me, the open arms are waiting for him to come home. From every parent to every family members to probably everyone in the community. but there's no malice. We just want our boy home. Badly.